So thank you, Elena, and good morning. So as always, the most difficult way to start a conference, because maybe you are still a bit asleep. And well, just a short introduction about myself, if I can. Okay, this is not me, obviously, this is Sofia the robot. So as Elena was telling you, currently I work for Oracle. My role is to understand new technologies, how new technologies could be applicable to real business. And before joining Oracle, I had a kind of two sides of my career. At the beginning, I started working as a product manager for companies like eBay, Skype, Lycos. And then I was moving to lead digital transformation for more traditional companies like Goodyear, Yellow Pages, DuPont. And then why I'm so interested now to artificial intelligence, because I got a degree on AI back to 2005, so a few years ago, where it was not a buzzword. And I can tell you that the theories behind didn't change during the years. What really changed is that now we do have data. We do have a lot of data, tons of data, and so this is a big advantage. We do have processing powers that we didn't have 15 years ago. And then this helped developing as well new algorithms like machine learning or deep learning and so on. But then if you see at the theories, it didn't change a lot. So I think you heard about Sofia. So how many of you were following Okay, not so many. So Sofia, she is the first robot. She was guaranteed citizenship, so in Saudi Arabia. And this was obviously a PR case. And if you look at her, she looks like a human. And we can watch a video of Sofia. So apparently, she told, I will destroy humans. And, I think what is amazing of Sofia, I think that what is amazing is how she looks. So her face, her expression, the way she moves, her mouth, her eyes, and so on. I think this is something that let us react, because as humans, we are primed to react to facial expressions. So, and this is like, it's like the trick of a magician. We do see a robot that looks like exactly like us. Her expression are like our expression, and then we want to believe she's human like us. But then if you do analyze the kind of conversation she's having whenever she's interviewed, she's not any more than a chatbot. Probably the chatbot you are using to check your, your bank account, or to interact or to ask for support, they have the same natural language processing process as Sofia. And, maybe I can be wrong, but the fact that she was repeating the wording of the interview, do you want to destroy humans? Yes, I will destroy humans, is an error of programming. So I don't think that there is a lot of intelligence there, but the fact, I think, is amazing how she looks like. So this is already a big advancement in robotics just for the facial expression. So why I was introducing Sofia? Because I believe that all of us, at least I was growing up with all sci-fi movies. So, I'm really passionate about sci-fi. So I do watch every movie is out, and so my teenager was like, okay, The Matrix and the other, and if you analyze all the movies, unluckily machines, they look like really bad. So either they want to dominate us, either they use us for nurturing, or they have really bad intentions. So I don't know why we do have this kind of projection in machine, but this is the reality. So obviously we are shaped to think that machines are not something good, and we are shaped to think that sooner or later we will develop a super intelligence that will be better than us. But then, sorry, I do have some, I need to understand how I can change it, okay? And if we do analyze the real AI, I mean, we do use artificial intelligence almost every day. And now I'm using the term artificial intelligence, even if it's an umbrella term, because, you know, there are a lot of debate if to use it. It includes so many disciplines, but I'm using it for simplicity now. And I mean, if you think about Netflix or Spotify, they are using machine learning algorithm to improve the result providing you. So you are already using it. And I want to provide as well another example. So this is a project that Oracle developed together with Zenitia. Is a Spanish company developing software for wearables and similar. This was related to healthcare. So this was the starting point, the business case. You know, the next 15 years, the health spending will be doubled for a lot of different factors. So it means people are aging, we will need more cure. So, but anyhow, this is, you know, this is the fact. And how you can cut the cost, an easy way to cut the cost on health spending is to be sure that patients with chronic disease will respect taking their pills. So unluckily, it seems that this is one of the major causes for as well increasing the cost of health. And so this is with the technology, you can find probably some easy way to help them to respect the fact that they should take every day 3 or 4 pills at the right time. And they have maybe to do physical exercise. You can monitor them. You can see what they are really doing. And I mean, the concept behind this is that there is an evolution as well about the model of healthcare. You know, in the past, people were thinking you go to the doctor when you need something, so not doing prevention. Now we understood that the best way to cure people is to prevent that they get sick and promote health lifestyle and as well monitor. So if you monitor in advance, you can as well prevent disease. So the easy solution, a smartwatch that the patient is wearing. The smartwatch is really easy, so you have just a couple of buttons that are going to beep and tell you you should do this, this, and that. So you simply need to follow the sign. Obviously, this monitoring gives a bunch of data that are stored in the cloud, so the doctor can check the data, can see what are the progress of the patient, and so as well the patient himself can as well see his own progress. So in a way, this was done mid of 2015, so it's not anything new, and I think you are quite familiar with this kind of cases. There is as well beacon technology, so in case that the patient is at hospital, you can as well monitor where the patient is going and what he's doing, and so you can really control him as well for being sure that he's not going outdoor when he shouldn't go outdoor. And what is the effect, finally, of all this? That the doctor is with you, so there is not anymore this relationship of going outside, but is like having the possibility to as well ask whatever question, monitor yourself, and have this doctor with you. So this is a simple case, simply to show that, and obviously behind this you have machine learning as well, because based on the data, this is going to improve as well the suggestion for the pills, is going to improve as well what the patient has to do, and so on. But for the person who is using the smartwatch, is taking the pill, it doesn't know what is behind. I mean, it's using something that is useful for him. And so is really curious to see that what John McCarthy, that was the person who created the term artificial intelligence, was saying is true. You know, as soon as it works, no one calls it AI anymore. So you call it dishwasher, or you call it, you know, my doctor with me. So you just, when it works, you don't think it's something outside of you. You don't think it's evil. You think it's something that is part of your daily life. Sorry. So, and now today we are talking about AI, but you know, AI is something on top of many other technologies. And what is really interesting of our age is that you do have a set of technologies that are boosting each other. So AI is springboarding other technologies because you can put a layer of, we talk machine learning, but it's just one of the algorithms you can use to boost all the other technologies. And so this is why many people are going to say that we are in the biggest transformation ever. And because we don't know where we are going, I'm really positive about technology. So I'm not like Elon Musk that think that machine will destroy us. I think that machine will help us. But this is a really big discussion. And what you should remind is that, again, it's not technology as a platform. It's not like something separate. AI is applied everywhere. So it's not staying on one side. But if you do deep dive on all the latest evolution, you will easily see what I'm saying. Oracle, as well, the way we do treat AI is probably slightly different from other companies because we do consider AI as embedded in every product. So if you just take the tech stack, you will see that either now or in the near future, you will have a machine learning layer applied to it. Larry Ellison announced at Open World the autonomous database, so a database patching itself, but this is just one example. And what is really key, I mean, we have seen, the smartwatch giving data, other wearables. I mean, what is important to understand about whoever Sofia or whatever robot or system is that the machine is not intelligent by itself. So why the machine is intelligent? Because as data, as a bunch of data that can be feeding an algorithm and can create a model, a function. So without the data, without this kind of information, you can't do anything at all. And what this means in terms of evolution of some activities that we are doing, like, marketing, commerce, and so on. This is really interesting because in the latest years, everyone is saying that we are in the era of the empowered consumer. So it means that someone can check whatever online, so you can check the price, you can decide I buy my new phone where it costs less, you can check the review. So you do have a set of information that were not available before. And so if you are a marketer or if a company that would like to address this new consumer, your life is not as easy as it was in the past, because in a way you really need to take care of this, and you need to take care that the person is distracted by several devices, because what you are doing, you are jumping from like being WhatsApping with someone or talking with someone else, checking your computer. So your journey, how is called in marketing terms, is really complex and fragmented. And so, in the past, what was happening is that as a marketer, you were dividing people in segment or in generation. And you were decided, I want to target this segment, this generation. I do assume they do have a certain behavior. And so based on this behavior, I'm doing this, or that. So I found this, I found this really interesting because it is a kind of behavior of each generation, a bit more funny than the usual, because you do see, I mean, people, they say, what is probably your favorite band or musician, or where you would like to go. You do prefer Burning Man or Coachella, or you prefer, again, Justin Timberlake or Nirvana, and so on. And I try to understand where I was standing in this. And you see, okay, this is me. It means that I'm in between, I'm at the beginning of millennials in terms of generation, but my behavior is not like a millennial or beginning of millennials, because I like jazz, but obviously I'm not part of the greatest generation. Or I prefer music streaming, but I'm not Gen Z. So, sometime when you have this kind of cluster, I think are extremely incorrect compared to the real behavior of people. What's the good news in all this? Is just think about the amount of data that you do have. and the amount of information. So it means that you can have, thanks to the data, and as well what we do call artificial intelligence, you can move from a mass marketing approach, so that you are just clustering people, to a mass customization approach. So if you think, it means that you can consider the segment of one, the segment of the individual, and talk directly with this person, because you do have enough information to really be precise. Don't send me, advertisement for a concert of Justin Timberlake when I do prefer Nirvana. Unlikely I can't go to their concert, but that's the point. And this is all related to the data and all related to AI. And why scaling love? Because I'm not sure if you remember that a few years ago, it was a book out saying, okay, a brand, what should be the mission of the brand? A brand should be loved. So you should be a love brand. And again, how you show love to someone? You show love if you care about someone, if you know that this person prefers white roses instead of red roses. So in this way, you can really show you care, you love, you know the person. And again, this is one example of how you can do better. I'm not going to go deep in this, but this is the example of a tool set. What you had in the past, if you are familiar with this, you were putting some criteria about what to do and the kind of activities you needed to do with a certain cluster. Again, with AI technologies, you will need to set a criteria, because the system is going to be a decision-making support. So it's going to tell you, this is the next best action you can do with this individual person, because I do have this information about the person. This is related again to commerce, so real-time offer. So it means giving, if you are looking for something, I don't know, based on all the information of your profile, that you will be interested to something else. But this is happening in real time now. In the past, you needed some time to just collect this information and give back this information. So, and this will be applied to everything, to marketing, supply chain, service, and so on. What I think is really interesting as well is how it's changing our interaction when we are looking for help. So it's almost proved that people, they do prefer to help themselves instead of asking someone else to help. And this is a prediction by Gartner. So it means that they predict that by 2020, so it means just in 3 years, almost 20% of interaction via mobile will happen through a virtual personal assistant. It means it can be a chatbot, it could be another form, on a desktop, a virtual assistant, but and I think if you don't realize you are interacting with a chatbot or a virtual assistant, it means it's working really well, because you really don't think that there is any difference between the human and the chatbot. And if you do analyze all the surveys, what do people like? You may think that people like to call to ask for help. Is not true. At least for me, when I need to call someone because something doesn't work, I think I'm wasting even the double of the time. So the voice call is an escalation. It means that if you are developing efficient chatbot that can really be operative 24/7, still we are not there, because sometimes one of the big mistakes with chatbot is that people think that they can work perfectly at moment zero, at time zero. Obviously, a chatbot needs to collect information, needs to learn about what are the right reply and the wrong reply. So a chatbot needs to be trained as well. You can't pretend moment zero is going to, and it's a lot of work to train the chatbot to set up in a way that it can reply in a meaningful way. But again, what I like and what I believe is important about delegating a lot of standard and, let me say, boring activities to machine, for instance, like a chatbot, is that you can do the right usage of humans. So I think that we can't pretend sometimes, sorry, I'm just jumping few slides because I'm aware of time. I think we must be aware sometime that computers are better than us in some activities, and this is absolutely true. I mean, if you think about calculus or games like chess, it's demonstrated that they are better than us, and there are as well reasons why they are better than us, because if you do give a set of criteria, a set of rules and calculus, a machine performs better for the way it is created. We are now reaching a level where machines are almost equal in some activities like image sorting, facial recognition, and so on, because the deep learning help a lot in image sorting. Then the basic chat is the natural language processing. But there are still many activities where humans are better than machine. So you should think about recognizing facial expression, then non-routine jobs, or all is related to emotion, all is related to empathy, all that make us humans. And for me, this is, whenever there is a lot of debate. I mean, when you open whatever newspaper now, you think that there are people optimistic versus pessimistic. Again, there are some that are going to say AI will destroy us. Others, they are indeed really optimistic, like we are moving to transhumanism, like Ray Kurzweil, and so we will become a kind of a cyborg, and we will use machine inside us to enhance, to be augmented human. And all it starts by philosophy. What does it mean? You do have two theories, just to simplify, of how the human brain works. So if you follow philosophers like Daniel Dennett, they are going to say that our brain is really similar to a machine, because you do have data in, then we process data, and data out. And he even claimed that concepts like freedom or consciousness are just trick of our brain. So they don't exist. So it's just a trick to have us be a working machine in a way. Then on the opposite school, there are obviously philosophers that they used to say, come on, we didn't understand, we didn't understood yet how our brain really works, because there is art, intuition, language translation, language learning. Still, memory even, we get some information about we are working, but still we don't, because if we would understand perfectly how it works, we could control, we could monitor, we could probably be at the next level in terms of intelligence. And one of the key points is consciousness. So it means the Daniel Dennett philosopher style, they say we don't have any consciousness. The opposite school, they say we have consciousness. And from all of this start, one of the debate how machine can develop, because someone is going to say, okay, a machine will develop consciousness because this is just information in and information out. Others simply say they will never be able because we don't know what is it. So this is, in a nutshell, some of the reason why there is this debate. I think the reality is that at this stage, people, they have opinions about this and are just school of thinking. What is going to happen by 2030, so just in 13 years? That obviously the world population will be close to 85 billion people, and in Europe we will have around 30 megacities. So we will have, and as a consequence, just think about transportation, housing, and so on. We will have a labor shortage, and this is, there is a TED talk about this really interesting by this guy called Rainer Strack, working for BCG. And I mean, they've done deep analysis, and when I was watching it, for me was a big surprise, because, usually every day you hear this, okay, machines are stealing our job, we will have a problem of job in the future, blah, 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 blah. And well, when you read this, is the opposite. We will have a labor shortage problem, a really serious one, but where will be the real problem? And again, AI will help to produce job. It means that thanks to AI, the global economy will be 16 trillion bigger. Why? Because you will lower down the cost of production, and so this will help as well to produce more items, and so this will be a boost for economy. And the real problem where it will be in the skill mismatch. So it means we will have a labor shortage, but will be required much more engineers and much less people doing manual work. Why? Because the manual work will be done by robots, by software. So sometimes we are facing the problem in the wrong way. It's not that we will have the problem of not having job for everyone. Luckily, we will still have jobs, so we can't, go just spending our time listening music all day. But then the real challenge is to reskill people. And, I think what I do like to think is just thinking about redeploying people and just create this skill that we don't have yet. And this obviously is not only us as individuals that we can work on ourselves, but will be a social problem, will be a problem that government will need to face. And, a lot of time there is, I'm asked in my daily job what is how to insert, how to integrate a machine in the daily activities. It could be of a company, of a small business, and so on. And what are the barriers and what are the drivers for this kind of integration? I don't think it's different for any new technology or cultural change or change. So there are companies or places, environments that are more embracing innovation. So this is about really the culture of a company or of an environment. And obviously they are more familiar. So these are all drivers, because if you have an innovation culture, you collaborate cross-team, you do have a vision, you don't know where to go, you embrace whatever is new, and you will overcome the obstacle. If indeed you are closed, you don't have this culture of change, you are resistant, you don't have as well sometimes new, not reason, because sometimes you feel threatened probably by external, you won't integrate. The problem is that if you are not open to embracing these new technologies, someone else will do, and probably you won't exist in 5-10 years, but that's a different problem. So, and what I think and why I've shared all of this today, because I believe that a lot of time, as at the beginning of my presentation, there is a lot of this misconception about AI, thinking about, okay, the super intelligence will dominate us. I think fast is our choice. I think it's always human deciding how to make a good or bad usage of technologies. And second, I believe that this will permit us to be, if someone is going to do for me what are the standard, boring job, even calculus, sometimes it's something that maybe we are not the best at, it means this permits me to be more human. And with more human, I mean it permits me to give value as well to my empathy, my emotion, my ability to understand other humans that still probably machine they don't have. So, thanks a lot.